First, let me start just a little update on my mom. Progress, still making progress. I mean, they, like I said, this is day 20 in the hospital. This Dr. Eade and Dr. Miller at the Presbyterian Hospital there in Albuquerque have done an amazing job. I mean, really, they saved her life, and she's still got a fight ahead of her, but she's fighting strong, and so everything's been positive, and so we're really excited, my family, and just thank again for all the thoughts and prayers from Sun Devil Nation, because it comes through more than you know. So with that being said, we'll go to some football stuff. Haven't been in here in a while, so go ahead, fire at me.
What do you think having Tyler Johnson? It looked like he was going to be able to come back this week. What kind of difference does it make?
Tyler Johnson it makes a huge difference on pass rush, and plus he's just a big, athletic athlete that has an ability to make plays. He needs to continue to progress to be, I mean, we talk about all the time around here, the most important thing in this program, you have to be available to play. And he's had some bad luck with some stuff and has to learn to fight through some things, but he helps our football team be better. And he's practiced really good this week. So, I mean, he's had some bad luck, some unfortunate incidences that, I mean, sometimes those things just happen. That's part of football. So I'm proud of him for the effort that he's put in this week, and he'll help us on Saturday. I mean, we definitely miss him when he's not out there. I mean, you can see. And going through with the bye week and with all those opportunities, you get an opportunity to self-evaluate. Third down has been our kryptonite right now. I mean, I'm as frustrated as every Sun Devil fan in Sun Devil country. That's the difference between us being good on defense and not right now. We're playing pretty good on first and second down defense, and then third down defense, and it's not even the short ones that are bothering us, it's the medium to long. They've converted 29, I consider medium 3rd and 4 or more, because that, as you go week by week, you determine where the passing thing, and that's kind of been the benchmark to where it's going to be heavy pass. Well, we've had 65, we've given up 29. That's terrible, and it's not scheme, it's execution, and a part of that is Tyler being out. When Tyler's in there, a lot more of those things are converted. Now, there's been a few of them that have been converted with him in there, so he's important, and he helps us, and we've got to be better executing on the ones. We got to be more attention to detail. I mean, it drives me crazy when we've got a down and distance situation and we're not playing the correct down and distance depth in coverage. I mean, against UCLA, we've got a 4th and 3, and we're playing man coverage and we line up at 12 yards. That's terrible. That's ridiculous. That's attention to detail, and some of that comes with experience. Some of that's coaching. Some of that's, I mean, it's combination. I mean, the bright side to that deal is, if you look at Kobe Williams, that dude never makes mistakes. It's 4th and 5, he's lined up 4 yards from the receiver. If it's 4th and 8, he's lined up with a chance that he knows, he understands. That's also a 5th-year senior that's played a lot of football. So those are the big things that we've addressed, and we're going to continue to address them. Got to do a better job on the sideline and making sure they're from series to series, because those third downs getting off the field are a huge difference in how good we are on defense.
What do you see as the main differences with how USC runs its offense versus Washington State?
This year so far, they've run it a lot more than Washington State has. They've got running back by committee, and it depends on week to week who's available. But they're very talented at that spot, and they've got a combination. I mean, they can run the ball in between the tackles and be physical and downhill, and then they have a ton of speed that they can chase you to the side. And then their offensive line right now is more athletic than Washington State, so they can get you in space so that when they climb to the second level on blocks, they do a really good job of using their body position to create gaps down the field. And those guys are athletic enough. And then Coach Harrell's done a great job moving pieces around through injuries. I mean, they've used wide receivers in the backfield. They've used running backs. I mean, they're doing a lot of really good things to give them different looks to be successful. They'll line up an empty. They'll shift a wide receiver back in the backfield, and so they kind of see how you're going to play their empty stuff, and then they'll get into a traditional formation, one of their traditional formations, and run the football. So they are a little bit, now, if they get behind, they're going to throw it. I mean, they threw 40 passes in the first half on Saturday, and then threw 17 in the second half. The game kind of dictated that. Had the game stayed close, I thought the kickoff return right at the end of the second half kind of changed the entire momentum for that whole game. I mean, they do a great job getting the score to 21-17. Oregon has an opportunity to get off the field on a third down, and they call the exact same thing they called against Darian Butler against Utah on the third down, and it converts to an SC touchdown, and then they return the kickoff, and it changed the momentum for the entire game. The ability that they have on offense is big plays. 6 on the right side, 21 on the left side, and then they use 8 all over. All 3 of those guys are super explosive, and they do the best of anybody we played of making competitive catches. Michael Pittman, number 6, he probably goes up. He might be the best receiver in the country at going up and getting underthrown deep balls, competitive catches where it's one-on-one. So we've made some adjustments in some of the ways we're doing some things to give us a chance to compete with him. But I mean, he's 6'4". He's over 200 pounds. He can run. He's twitchy. I mean, that's where they pose you problems. And then Tyler Vaughn on the other side, he's every bit of 6'3" and athletic and can jump. And then Amon St. Brown, you move him around all over. They'll put him in the backfield. So I mean, they've got some weapons, and that's the big difference between them and Washington State right now is all 3 of those guys. They can put them anywhere, and they're super explosive, and they're scary. They're really good.
They hold the ball longer at quarterback because of their big play capability, and what do you have to do against that?
I think some of that is they've seen a ton of 3-man rush. I think it's the quarterback going through progression, how they're learning now. So this is 9, the starter. He can sling it, and he's coming home. He's going to have a little homecoming here of his own. Have a bunch of family and friends in the stands, and he's played really well. He will hold the ball. He's not going to. I mean, he's not going to run unless he has to, and he'll hold it until somebody comes open. So that becomes the challenge, and the challenge is, can you get pressure with 3, or if you send 5 and 6, are you going to be able to cover them? It's going to be quick, and so I don't believe in slow deaths. So, I mean, my opinion would be you come after him. So, get it over with. Rip that Band-Aid off, and let's go pin our ears back and see what we can get to. I mean, I thought Utah did an outstanding job of defending them. They get 6 big plays, and that's the difference in the game. 4 long touchdowns, jump balls that they threw over the top. But if you watch the rest of that game, SC couldn't run the ball. I thought they had a great plan. You can't plan for big plays. I mean, those are the killer. Colorado, 3 one-play scores. Utah SC, 4 one-play scores, and that's Utah's only blemish. That's the difference in them being 8th in the first playoff ranking and being top 5. And so that's where they pose a big problem. And 9 finds them. He throws it up there and finds them.
Did you find yourself last week during the bye week after 2 losses really trying to pick up the morale as much as trying to work on the details and nuances of the game?
You know, there was a lot of frustration at the end of the UCLA game, and losing on a bye week is awful. I mean, the morale. I mean, it was. There's a difference between feeling sorry for yourself and licking your wounds and take a step forward and try and get better. And I don't think they felt sorry for themselves. I thought you could see a little bit of that creep. I mean, we told them on the sideline when shoot at 42-10. I mean, don't put this off, man. This didn't just happen. Put that in your belly and remember it, and never want to feel that way again. Now, they fought back in the fourth quarter, and we make a little run, and the game's 42-32 with an onside kick. But they didn't stop fighting, and they're the stuff that we've got to grow up with. I mean, the roughing the passer penalties, we've had 3 of those on third down that have been big time. I mean, they've led to scores. Washington State was the first one on George. He gets blocked in and hits him low. That's a judgment call. They called it. The one on Merlin, they have the exact same thing later on in the game. They call it on us, don't call it on them. And then the one on Kalen, that's as close and iffy as you get. But you can't coach them to not be aggressive and go make those plays. I'm never going to coach him not to the quarterback. I'm going to coach him to avoid the quarterback if he's throwing the ball and it's not even close. I think all 3 of those were judgment. But all 3 of those were third downs that we've got to overcome to get off the field. The only lack of discipline play in that deal was Ashari's. And he found out. I won't. That stuff, the roughing the passer penalties, I can live with. The over the edge, I mean, you're playing, we talk about we want to be on the verge of being as physical and nasty as you can be. And so those things, we're going to win some and lose some of those. And if you overcome them, they don't cost you games. The punting the ball, that costs us points. We got an opportunity to get off the field. They scored 2 plays later because we don't get aligned in cover 2, make an assignment error, alignment error. But there was no reason for it. And we talk about stuff all the time. If you do it in practice, you're going to do it in a game. And we want that same motto goes for running to the football. We talk about it all the time. When that ball's on the ground, if the offense throws an incomplete pass, I want all 11 dudes running over there to try and scoop that thing up. If we're running 7-on-7 and the D-line are with us in 7-on-7 and there's no blocker, as soon as that ball's thrown, you turn and run because it's muscle memory. If all you do is do it every day, you do it naturally. Well, guess what? He kicked that ball like so on the sideline, when I told him he wasn't playing anymore, I mean, he's heartbroken because we're where he's at, where he's from. I go, that don't matter to me, man. I mean, I told you when that happened, I kicked you out of practice. And you said, oh, Coach, that'll never happen in a game. Well, it did. It happened. That's muscle memory. You can't say it's not going to happen, that stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that we won't, I want. I mean, I'll go down and swing. Now that stuff ain't going to work. And he knows it. I don't think you'll ever see it from him again. And he's practiced completely different than last week. Hopefully that's a great wake-up call because he can be a great player. And he's practiced really well the last 2 days. He was very productive in that game prior to that point. But that series was his worst of the game. He had the 4th down where he lined up way too far off, attention to detail, and then the next couple plays later, probably out of frustration because he knew what he did, and then he does that. So we got to learn from that. And the other penalties, I don't see him being discipline issues. I want him to be playing on that verge, and they'll start swinging our way.
To kind of piggyback off the bye too, I mean, obviously having a younger team, do you think that helps maybe bounce off the older players too, the whole short-term memory? I mean, once the game's over, you got to forget about it and move on. But you have the younger guys, not that they like to lose or want to lose, but have kind of helped.
Yes, I think Kobe's done a great job there. Kobe Williams, the senior captain, he doesn't say a whole lot out there in practice, but he's very vocal in the room and amongst them. And he's been good as far as getting over and moving on to the next step. Because we had Brian Urlacher come and talk to the defense about 3 weeks ago, and I think the greatest message that he gave to him was, you got to play the next play. It doesn't matter what happened on the previous play. Okay, learn from your mistakes, but you can't let that fret on you. You've got to play the next play, and when a coach gets after you, listen to the coaching and then move on. And that was Kobe's message, kind of everybody. We got to move on. We got 4 more games to play. We've got enough talent to win all 4. The other teams we play got enough talent to beat us in all 4 of them. If we play good on defense, we're gonna have a chance. Just like the first part of the season, we're gonna have a chance to win every single game. And if we play really, really good on defense, then we'll have a chance to be leading and have a different outcome in the end. The difference between being really, really good on defense right now is 3rd down. It's 3rd down. And if you go back, I mean, trying to figure out, and I've talked about this since the day I got here, we're building something to be really special. And last year started with 5 true freshmen. Okay? Well, those 5 true freshmen have now played the 13 games we played last year, and this year, we're in our 21st game. Okay? Now you should see towards the end of this year, and we should be really good on defense next year. In my opinion, we really should be. Okay? You got a bunch of guys, you've got 21 games under your belt now. You've got enough tape that you can teach them. And now you got a core and a nucleus of young guys that have been playing together and kind of understand where the puzzle pieces fit. And now they should be getting better and better. You should not regress. Last year, I thought we wore out from this point on. It should be the other way this year. We should continue to get better every week. We took a step back against UCLA, and it wasn't physical ability. We didn't execute. And when you go back and watch it, and they saw all the mistakes we made, it was either a guy missing a tackle, or they weren't just mauling us off the ball. We're either missing tackles in the hole, or we're missing an assignment. Well, that's a lack of attention to detail, right? They got to get themselves ready to play every single week, and I expect them to play. I expect them to play their tails off on Saturday. The only good thing out of UCLA was they played hard. They're still playing hard. They're playing with the right energy, and I think there's a lot of If you compare them to what Utah's done on defense, 2 years ago, Utah was 7-6. All those guys were freshmen and sophomores. They were middle of the pack. I think they finished 56 in the country in total defense that year. They're third in the total country in total defense right now, playing with a bunch of seniors that have played together. And I think Morgan Scalley is a great coach, and he's done a great job. And those pieces have all fit together. And look at them now. I mean, they're really good on defense. And what are they on third down? They're 26%. They're leading they're second in the country. It's a big difference. So I think we got a lot of positive things around here, but we got to get better on third down. And we get better on third down the next 4 games, we're going to have a chance to win all 4 of them.